Let's think about Lot for just a minute. What was Lot's motivation? It was the riches he could see, right? Lot looked out and he saw the Jordan Valley and he saw that it was beautiful, choice real estate, that Sodom and Gomorrah, commercially, trade-wise, they were jamming. He thought to himself, if I go there, then I can make the most amount of money. But in the decision to make the most amount of money, although that was a wise decision and a good decision financially, it was spiritually disastrous for Lot and all of Lot's family. He ends up losing his children. He ends up losing his wife. His wife would fall so in love with the material prosperity of Sodom and Gomorrah that when God brought his judgment down on Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis chapter 18, she was so in love with the city that she couldn't turn away from it, and God turned her into a pillar of salt. He lost his wife. He lost his fortune. He lost his family. Now, it's not that living in Sodom and Gomorrah is necessarily wrong, right? It's the point of the story is not don't live anywhere sinful. If that were the point of the story, then we could not live anywhere, correct? Not even in church, because there's sinners in church. The point is not don't live anywhere sinful. Lot's problem was his priorities. It was the motivation for why he chose to live in Sodom and Gomorrah. It very well may be true that God calls some of you to live in Sodom, whatever you want to call Sodom, a place that is full of wickedness and all of that sort of thing. The problem is not living there. The problem is the motivation. Is it based on this is where God has called me, this is to advance the kingdom of God, or is it based on this is the wisest thing for me to do financially to gain and reach my financial goals as I want them to be reached? If you make your decision based on that alone, it's spiritually disastrous. And we've all seen this, right? We know people who are in jobs that are terrible for their family. It's hard on their marriage, but they stay in that job because they feel like this is the only way I can provide for the lifestyle I want to live. We know people who have children who rarely don the doors of a church. They have hardly any involvement in spiritual things. They don't know anything about the Lord because every day of the week they're playing sports like soccer or other activities like dance or ballet, and every night of the week is taken up, so we don't have any kind of time for spiritual things. And so our decision to prioritize one thing over the Lord has disastrous consequences spiritually. Now, those other things aren't bad. Baseball, softball, all that stuff is not necessarily bad. In fact, I'd like to ballet dance sometime. I think that would be fun. Probably won't do it, though, because of the image problem. But those things aren't bad. The problem is the prioritizing of that secondary thing over the Lord. It has disastrous spiritual consequences. And it's, you think about it, your children are probably not going to play in the major leagues, most likely. And yet we will sacrifice spiritual things on the altar of something that is temporary, fleeting, and insignificant. Your daughter or son probably won't play in the major leagues, but they definitely will go to heaven or hell. So why not prioritize the ultimate things over the secondary, temporary things? And that's exactly what Lot chooses not to do. And many of us do the same thing. We do it financially. We do it with our families. We prioritize the riches we can see over the kingdom of God.